up tonight on VCU InSight.
A decaying golf course has some golfers and homeowners upset and looking for change.
Chesterfield County is using school bus cameras to crack down on drivers who illegally pass stop buses.
And a new program lets students discover wildlife and history for free.
All this and more.
VCU InSight starts right now.
From the Richard T. Robertson School of Media and Culture at Virginia Commonwealth University, named Best Student Newscast in the Mid-Atlantic, this is VCU InSight.
Good evening and welcome to VCU InSight. I'm Janice Milan.
And I'm Taylor Gleason. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news tonight, the state of a Chesterfield golf course. Neighbors say the Rivers Bend golf course has not been cared for all summer and is virtually unplayable, which has left golfers angry and homeowners worried about their home value. InSight's Kristen Dennis is in the newsroom with more. Good evening, Kristen.
Good evening, Taylor. Rivers Bend Golf Course in Chester has had a tough time of it these past few years. Critics say it looks rough and are afraid it won't get better anytime soon.
The fairways are overgrown and the greens are brown and cracked. Fences are falling apart along the paths. Local golfers say the 177-acre Rivers Bend course along the James River in Chester needs help. The golf course has had numerous complaints. 100 homes surround the course. One is Barbara Schechter's and her husband Dan's. They moved just off the 15th hole in 2005 to have a course right in their backyard.
One of the premium locations that we were looking at because of the amenities, which included being close to a golf course.
As you can see here, the golf course is unplayable, with some grass intact, but most of it eroding.
Managing partner Ronnie Kelly is a former golf pro who's owned the course since 2004, 1 out of the 5 he's kept. Things started going south with the recession. In 2013, he filed for bankruptcy because of unpaid taxes, and the bank took his course in Prince George. Kelly wouldn't talk to us, but in a recent Richmond Times-Dispatch article says, "I want to let people know we're still here and still trying to make it work, and I think we can." This is a different private course, an hour down the road towards Montpelier at the Federal Club. Managing partner Ann Gail Jennings says members want it looking spiffy.
I would assume everybody cuts their greens daily.
Back at Rivers Bend, the greens don't seem to need it.
It's an embarrassment to the community.
Kelly has hired a new management company and hopes to get things ready for next year. Back to you, Taylor.
Thank you, Kristen.
The Virginia Capitol Trail is officially open and ready to use. The 52-mile paved route connects Richmond to Williamsburg. It starts by Great Shiplock Park and Shockoe Bottom and stretches all the way down to the Jamestown settlement. The trail welcomes walkers, cyclists, skaters, and anything that isn't motorized. This is the only trail of its kind in Virginia. While the trail is fully operational, finishing touches will be complete by the end of the year.
Construction on the new City Dam Walk downtown is set to begin. When it's finished, it will allow visitors to cross from Browns Island to the Manchester Climbing Wall. InSight's Matthew Foltz has more on the story.
Richmonder Matt Newquist is looking forward to the construction and, more importantly, the end result. He comes down here at least once a week on his lunch break and can't wait until he has more access.
And also to see a different part of the other side of the river. Most people might go over the Bell Island, but it'd be nice to see that the other side across the bridge.
The bridge will cost about $9 million in total, $6.5 million coming from the city and $3 million coming from the state.
Right now, pedestrians are only allowed to walk this far on the bridge. But once construction is completed, they'll be able to walk the rest of the dam.
Won't be able to do it in a car, won't be able to do it in a motorcycle.
Richmond's planning director Mark Ollinger says the new construction of the bridge will be roomier than the old.
And so we've made it wider. We're going to have the 3 lookouts so that people can pull off and experience the water.
Construction is set to begin over the next couple of weeks. Once completed, the bridge will stand 17 feet high and stretch 1,600 feet from Belle Isle to the Manchester rock climbing wall. And for visitors like Newquist, they can't wait.
Excited about the news about the bridge being extended.
But for now, he and other visitors will have to keep looking from afar. For VCU InSight, I'm Matthew Foltz.
Construction on the dam walkway will be completed by late summer of 2016.
Last February, locals braved the cold and plunged into freezing water for a good cause. Now they're taking things to the extreme. InSight's Alonzo Small is in the studio to explain what that means.
I'm here with Nicole Rydell, the Director of Development for Special Olympics RVA. Nicole, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So, Nicole, tell me a little bit about Special Olympics RVA.
Well, Special Olympics is a chapter in Richmond. We're under the umbrella of SOI, which is Special Olympics International. Our headquarters is in DC. Our local chapter here focuses on the athletes here in Virginia. So that's what our budgetary purposes are, and we make decisions as a state chapter to help the athletes in our general state.
Okay, and you're saying that there's more events like throughout the year, correct?
Right. We're not just a track meet, and we're not just about summer games. We actually provide year-round sports training and competition for our athletes, and that includes practices, local competitions, state competitions, even national competitions. And even this year we had the World Games, so we help provide the opportunity for athletes to travel around the world to compete at high-level Olympic-type sports. We also focus in health, community, and education. We are the largest global provider of health care for the intellectually disabled population. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of our athletes don't have great access to health care. So when they get sent to Summer Games, which is our statewide Olympic event, there's a Healthy Athletes Clinic that they can go to, and they can get hearing checks, eye checks, and dental checks. And we provide all the health care for them to be able to get hearing aids on the spot, glasses on the spot, and all the dental work on the spot. We also focus in community grassroots movements with our local law enforcement officers, and our educational programs are focused on the first unified generation. We're uniting disabled and non-disabled athletes in Virginia high schools to play together on one team for the same common goal to promote respect, inclusion, and unity.
Okay, so I understand that you guys are having an event coming up. It's called Over the Edge. Tell me a little bit about it.
Over the Edge is an extreme fundraiser, not for the faint of heart. People sign up to raise $1,000 minimum for Special Olympics for the opportunity to rappel 400 feet from the SunTrust Center downtown Richmond. So they raise money for us, and we give them that extreme opportunity. All the funds go to support our health, community, sports, and education programs.
And you're saying all the funds go to Special Olympics?
Yes, all the proceeds go to benefit 11,000 children and adults in Virginia to have sports programs. We also support volunteers and coaches who give their very valuable time to help our cause.
Who are some of the people that are involved with this event?
Oh, we actually have some great media sponsors on board this year. Lane Casadante from CBS 6 will be taking the leap. We also have Summit Media, Crash from 103.7 Play will be rappelling. We also have Trevor Dickerson from RVA News. One of my favorite stories is Ashley Counts. She's one of our athletes. She's rappelling for the 5th and final time this year.
Okay, sounds like a great event. Just tell me quickly, what brought you to Special Olympics? How did you get involved?
I actually got involved. I was a VCU student, and while I was attending VCU, I got an internship at Special Olympics. I fell in love. After my internship and after graduation, I stayed on as a social media consultant, and when the Director of Development position opened up, I leaped for it. So it's been a great experience. I've been there for 2 years, and it's been fantastic.
All right, thanks again. I've been speaking with Nicole Rydell with Special Olympics RVA. Thank you so much for joining us, Nicole.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Over the Edge takes place Saturday, October 17th at the SunTrust building downtown. A major advancement for emergency responders is taking over in our area. Dinwiddie County is the first local county to give residents the option to send a text message to 911 instead of calling to report emergencies. InSight's Jade Wong has more.
Once the caller or the texter disconnects the cell phone, we are unable to make contact back.
It's called Text to 911, and already multiple states in the country have implemented this new technology. Dinwiddie County is the first in Central Virginia who has purchased it. To text your emergency, you would put 911 in the recipient box and then state whatever your emergency is in the message box. Now, if there's some reason that your message does not get sent, you will get a bounce back message notifying you that you need to be calling 911. Communications Manager for Dinwiddie Fire and EMS, Denise Crowder, warmly welcomes Text to 911 in her county. She says it's really beneficial to a woman in Dinwiddie who is hearing impaired.
He could have, lost his life that night because she couldn't get help to us. So had she had that text to 911, she would have been able to do that.
The woman's husband did receive help in time thanks to assistance from a neighbor. But in other cases, some think it may not be as helpful in all emergencies. Case manager in Richmond City, Jacqueline Weatherall, works with mental health patients. She feels it's best to make the phone call to emergency responders.
I think that calling is more beneficial just because it's easier to do and you're on the line with someone. You can give them the information that you need, and when you're texting, it may be difficult to just text accurately.
And emergency departments agree with Weatherall. They say that there is a delay in response time, so citizens should call if they can, text if they can't. For VCU InSight, I'm Jade Wong.
Richmond, Chesterfield, and Hanover are also looking into the Text 911 program. If you're looking for a place to donate old furniture or buy used furniture at a discounted price, there's a new place in Richmond. Gathered Goods opened this past weekend on Commerce Road. The market was originally open twice a month, but the group decided to reopen the market for daily use. All proceeds from sales at the market are donated to the Caritas programs, which is a group to help the homeless.
It's not every day you come across an all-conference record-breaking athlete. InSight's Matthew Foltz is in the studio with more.
I'm here with Brandon Ruffin. Brandon was a 4-year VCU track and field athlete and broke several school records. Brandon, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So first off, how did you get started in track and field?
It was 8th grade. I needed something to do in the springtime since football had ended and basketball had ended.
Yeah, that's so you just fell in love with it right after that, or?
Not really. It just was really something to do. It wasn't until high school that I fell in love.
All right, and so you get to VCU, and over the course of 4 years, you break 2 school records in throwing. You're an outstanding athlete in the field for four times, and you're all conference. When you first got to VCU, how did you think you would have that much success, or?
Actually, not really. It really was just something to pay for school, and I mean, I loved doing it, so that helped. But I didn't really plan to have this much success.
And how does it feel after?
It feels phenomenal. Nice to know that I made a mark on VCU.
All right. And we also have some video you throwing, actually. Tell us a little bit while it's playing. How did you prepare for each event, or as you were throwing?
Well, really just clear your head. I mean, because you do what you've done in practice, and you just keep on. It's like usually like one thing that you just keep in your mind, and you just go about your throw.
And what was the most difficult part of track and field over your 4 years, do you think?
I definitely have to say weight room.
Weight room?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. It can be very demanding on the body.
So how many workouts did y'all do a day?
It was 2 workouts, one in the morning and one usually in the afternoon or later in the morning.
Oh, wow. And so you're also an engineer student. How did you cope track and field, traveling, doing all that, and also doing engineering? Because that's not an easy major.
Yeah, it was very tough. A lot of sleepless nights, but I found a way to help with some tutors and basically just persevering.
That's good. Do you think anybody will break your records in the near future?
We do have one upcoming athlete, Andrew Hines. He's going to threaten them. He might catch the shot put one, but we'll see.
Shot put one?
Yes.
And tell us, how far was the shot put record for those who don't know?
Indoor record is 1781. I think it's about 58 feet. So.
Oh wow! And how heavy are those balls that you're actually throwing?
16 pounds.
16 pounds.
Yeah.
Man, so you got to be pretty strong to be able to throw that thing that far.
Yeah, you got to know what you're doing. You might break something.
Yeah. And the other record, what is that in?
The weight throw.
The weight throw?
Yes, it's a 35-pound ball with like a handle on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, how did you prepare? Like, because that's not a high school event, is it?
No, sir.
How did you prepare from not being able to do that, going to that?
Just practice, just keep doing it. It was very painful at first, but I got the hang of it.
Yeah. And you're a fifth-year student now. You're no longer doing track. How does it feel to be graduating in May, knowing you broke all those records and had that much success?
It feels good. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed it. Like I don't know, VCU has been very good to me, and it's nice to have something to remember, you know?
I've been speaking with Brandon Ruffin about his track career here at VCU. Brandon, thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
Fall is here, and that means Richmond Restaurant Week is coming soon. It's designed to promote locally owned restaurants and help raise money for Feed More, an organization that works to feed the hungry. The meals provided by restaurants participating in the event cost around $29, with $4 going to charity, twice the amount donated from last year's event. Although there aren't as many restaurants participating this fall, some have closed and others have dropped out of the event. It all begins October 19th and wraps up on October 25th. To find the complete list of restaurants, go to richmondrestaurantweek.com. Looking for something different to drink at Starbucks that isn't coffee or tea? 2 local Starbucks have applied for an ABC license so they can begin serving wine and beer as part of the new Starbucks Evenings theme. The stores at Huguenot Village Shopping Center in Chesterfield County and in the Reynolds Crossing in Henrico are hoping to get the okay. The company announced this plan in August in order to bring a more casual meeting environment in the later hours.
Every Kid in a Park is a program President Obama created so students can discover wildlife, resources, and history, all for free. It kicked off last month, and students are already signing up. InSight's Denasia Pascal is in the newsroom with more. Good evening, Denasia.
Good evening, Janice. This program is only for 4th graders, but that student and their entire family can visit any national park in the country for free.
That gunpowder, boom! Exploded.
This middle school class from Wilson, North Carolina is getting a lesson in history at the Richmond National Battlefield Park. Teacher Chanel Green says some of her students have never left North Carolina or even been to a national park.
I think they spend so much time in front of their computer screens and their phones that it is important for them to come to places like this.
Getting kids outdoors is part of the Obama initiative. The White House says kids are spending more time in front of screens instead of outside.
While the National Battlefield Park is free, not all national parks and federal lands are. But you can pick up your free pass here and have access to every national park in the country.
The president's 2016 budget includes an increased investment of $45 million for youth engagement programs. $20 million specifically for National Park Service for youth activities. Stephanie Pooler is the educational specialist for Richmond National Battlefield Park. She sees the importance of this program.
These families may not be ones that would normally come to a park that has an entry fee. It's a good hands-on learning experience and also has a chance for them to get out from behind the desk and really experience history, culture, and their wetlands, waters, and other federal lands, really to have a chance to experience it all.
Right now, the program is open to every 4th grader in the country. Simply visit your local national park and get your free pass. It is valid for 1 full year. Back to you, Janice.
Thank you, Denasia.
A test program in Chesterfield County recently caught a large amount of drivers illegally passing stopped school buses. The county police and board of supervisors were shocked by the results. Now, a more permanent solution may appear in the near future. It's common seeing buses and cars rushing down streets in the morning, but a test trial conducted by Chesterfield County found over 200 drivers illegally passing stopped school buses in just a month. Cameras were temporarily installed to catch these drivers in the act. Chesterfield Police background detective Mark Yonce says passing is a risky move on the road.
I know a lot of people are in a rush. They want to get to work on time or they want to get home. So they decide that they're going to pass the school bus. It's just not worth it. It's not worth hitting a child. It's not worth getting stopped and being issued a summons.
Chesterfield Police want cameras permanently on the outside of county buses. However, the Board of Supervisors decided to delay their vote on installation until November. Dale District Supervisor Jim Holland says they want to ensure the best technology is used.
So we're concerned about making sure we have the best information. We've done thorough research, and once they're implemented, we want to make sure it's the very best and implement it the very best way.
If the cameras are voted on to be installed, they'll be placed here at the end of Chesterfield County buses, where drivers can easily be seen and license plate numbers are recognizable. But some parents, like Bonnie Blackburn, say they are concerned for their students' safety. She disagrees with the delay.
We should always upgrade and keep our children safe, because that's our #1 priority is our kids. Delaying is not good because it's a safety factor. So if they do have to delay it, I hope it's not long. I hope they can get on it right away.
20% of the county's buses would receive cameras if approved. They would be installed by early spring at the latest. The board will make its final decision on November 18th. The RVA Maker Fest brought together over 10,000 people and 100 local vendors to the Science Museum of Virginia. Everyone from children to adults explored their inner inventor as they walked from booth to booth on each level of the museum. Makers of all kinds showcased unique skills and provided an entertainment where it seemed like anything was possible. RVA Maker Fest itself is a nonprofit organization that strives to inspire all Richmonders to embrace tinkering and creation as paths to learning and innovation.
Richmond is rich with history, and some of it's, well, strange. There's a way you can learn about the city's weird details and also get a good walk. InSight's Alonzo Small has a story from Church Hill.
It's a place you might normally walk right by, but Debbie Phillips is making people stop and appreciate some of Richmond's unusual past.
We've always at Richmond Discoveries had this idea of doing a walking tour that would focus on weird little known stories of Richmond's past.
The tour is known as Richmond Strange Stories. It's run through the Poe Museum and Richmond Discoveries. Founded in 1985, it claims to be the Metropolitan's oldest educational tour group. Visitors depart from the Poe Museum on East Main Street. That walk takes you to the James River, Shockoe Bottom, and the Capitol District. Church Hill is another destination for Richmond Discoveries' Strange Stories of Richmond.
We hope that people will leave these walking tours changed.
Chris Sipner is a curator for the Poe Museum and helps with the tours. He says accuracy is key.
We didn't want to just invent stories. We didn't want to promote rumors or legends. And a lot of that involves going back to the original sources.
These really interesting stories.
Phillips took me on part of the tour. She shares stories of the canal systems founded by George Washington. Phillips says the tours are just one of the ways of reaching out to the public
And maintaining that connection with them.
A connection with Richmond's heritage they're working to preserve, one footstep at a time. For VCU InSight, I'm Alonzo Small.
The Richmond Strange Stories Tour will wrap up just before Halloween, but will return again in the spring.
And finally tonight, the UCI World Championship races brought a huge cycling interest to Richmond.
And one group is hoping to make cycling a little bit safer for people just starting out in the sport. InSight's Stephanie Zentina has more on the story.
Carter Snipes' 5-year-old son, Monroe, says his son is thrilled about his new bike helmet.
It's shiny.
Monroe's dad, Carter, says he likes the look.
Well, I just think they have a really nice design. The helmets have a nice design. They're pretty sleek. They stand out. They're unique. You don't really see helmets like that.
Snipes says he bought the helmet not only for safety, but to support his community. The helmets, available for both kids and adults, come from I Am RVA, a local nonprofit that advocates for cycling. Charlie Gates is the group's vice president. He says the idea came from bike helmets the group's president saw when visiting Austria. Gates says Richmond's really responded to the headgear.
We've had amazing support. People love the logo, and that brings them over, and then we start talking about the cause. The funds that we raise go to help children.
Those funds, $50 for each helmet sold, go to local charities.
I Am RVA has sold close to 300 of these helmets, and a large order is expected in November, just in time for the holidays.
During the recent international bike race, Snipes says he took the week off and went cycling around Richmond with his family and their helmets.
We took off several days' work. Kids were out of school for a couple days of work, and we had these helmets out. We were riding around, proud, showing them off.
Snipes says he's glad he's teaching his son the importance of bike safety, all while helping out. For VCU InSight, I'm Stephanie Zantano.
I Am RVA is taking a break now, but it plans to be back in business in May 2016 with the goal to sell 2,000 helmets. Wow, I can say the Richmond bike community has really been impacted by this.
Yeah, the bike craze has really hit our city. And that's it for this edition of VCU InSight.
Make sure to check us out online at insight.vcu.edu.
You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook under the VCU InSight tag. Contact us with any stories you'd like to see on our show.
And if you missed it, or you'd like to watch past shows, we're on YouTube under VCU InSight. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Janice Milan.
And I'm Taylor Gleason. We'll see you next time.